In this video I'll show you how to use the skin and layer systems for sprites in Unreal Engine 5, which were recently added to the free PaperZD plugin most of us use to drive 2D sprite animations. We'll use both skins and layers by creating an armor system for this little guy that allows you to swap out different armor pieces while the game is running, and I believe this is the best way to showcase these systems. This is a bit more of an advanced tutorial and does require you to already have a character setup that can walk in 4 directions, so if you want to follow along step by step, make sure to download the free starter project from the link in the description. And by the way, as a patron you also get a finished project using the skins and layers in an actual small game which features top-down combat. And to get started, I'll quickly show you what we have in the starter project. If I press play, we just have a character that can walk around with WASD and has 4 directions. This is set up through PaperZD, and in the plugins, we can see that PaperZD is active, so if you can't start the project, make sure that PaperZD is installed for your version of Unreal. In the content drawer, I have the paper assets, hero, and here I have the knight armor. You can see the body for the knight and the head for the knight are different sprites, and also for the mage, we have the body armor and we have the helmet or the hat. And of course, also the base with the actual character. And to prepare assets like this, you have to make sure that you have tags for your different animations here. And I also have the different layers I can turn on or off for the different armor parts here. And I just exported every layer one by one using the export sprite sheet setting and putting out a JSON which I can then drag into Unreal Engine. Let's now first set up the layers, so go to the content drawer. In content, classic top-down, blueprints, hero, I have the AS hero, the animation source for PaperZD, so open this up. Now just click any of the animations, idle or walk is fine. And I want to look downward, so click here. And the first thing we have to do is add the additional layer data. So I hit plus once for the head and one more time for the body. And then we have the index 0 and the index 1 here. Now just to preview this, we can go to the right side and you see we have the composite layer animations. Again, I want to add 1, 2 here. And you can see we have the index 0, index 1 corresponding to both of these layers. For the index 0, look for head knight. And I want the head knight idle down to match the animation. You can see some flickering, but for now, let's also add the body knight and also the body knight idle down here. Now to prevent the flickering, because all of these 3 different flipbooks are exactly in the same position, we can adjust the offset here. And we only need to change the y-axis, so let's put in 0.5 to bring it forward and also 0.5 here. And you can see the texture is a bit blurry right now. That's not what it's going to look like in the game. So I'll just exit out of the window and open it up again. And now it shows up correctly. You can see there's still some flickering because the head and body armor are still on the same layer, so we can move the head a bit forward in front of the body armor. So here instead of 0.5, let's just use 1, and you can see now we don't have any flickering. They all have a different offset now. But now even if I start the game, we cannot see the armor, because we actually have to tell PaperZD to spawn these flipbooks that we want. So in the blueprint for the character, the BP hero, I want to open it up, click on the viewport, and let me just go to the animation component of PaperZD, scroll down, and here you can see build composite layers automatically. You could also add multiple flipbooks to the sprite by yourself and then define them here. That is a bit of an advanced method, but we just want to build composite layers automatically. And this just means if the game starts, it's going to spawn these flipbooks and set them up. So if I start the game now, you can see we're looking downward and it is showing the armor. But of course, we haven't set it up for the other directions, and we could just go back here in the AS hero, set it up for each direction, and you could do that if you only have one armor, but we actually want to use the skin system now to set it up, and so we're also able to switch the armor while the game is running. So let's just get rid of this again, and we only want to keep this on the left side as the setting that we changed. Let me just save everything, Ctrl-Shift-S, and now let's start making a skin. So in the content drawer, in the Blueprints hero, I have the skin folder, and I actually prepared 3 skins for you already, but let's make the head knight skin together so you understand how it works. The easiest way to make a new skin is actually to go back to the AS hero, right click, and here we can create animation skin asset because this is actually connected to the animation source. And we can only use it together with this animation source. I'm going to call it skn underscore head knight. And then drag it into the skins folder, move here, and then let me open up the skn head knight. And this might be collapsed for you, but we can see both of the animations here. And by the way, if you make changes later to the animation source, you can just sync with animation source to add the new animations here as well. And then we have to specify the animation directions for the skin. Now you see we have the index 0, 1, 2, 3, and these correspond to the directions here. So it starts from the top and then it goes clockwise. So this 0, 1, 2, 3. And in here, we then want to set it up that way. So up, right, down, left. Let's start with the idle animation. So here, let me just write head knight, underscore, underscore. And I want to copy this, Control A, Control C. And we want to start with idle up. And then Control V to paste it, and idle right. Here, idle down, and then idle left. And then here for the walking, again, Control V. And now we want the walk, but the walk up, walk right, walk down, and the walk left. And it's very easy to make mistakes here, so double check it is URDL, URDL. And this was quick enough because we just have 2 animations and 4 directions. But for example, in the advanced project that you can get as a patron, we have many more animations and we have 8 directions as well. So that makes it very annoying to set this up manually. And this is the one area where I think we need some quality of life updates to PaperZD. So if you have any suggestions of how we could set this up so we can auto-populate everything here, please let me know in the comments and I will tell the developer. But even back in our tutorial project, I didn't want you to do this 4 different times, so I created these other 3 skins that we're going to use for you so you don't have to do this again and again. And let me now close all of the skins. They are prepared. I can close this and this as well. To actually apply the skins, let's open up the character blueprint again. So we have the blueprint, the BP hero. And one thing we can do on BeginPlay, we just set a skin that it wears on BeginPlay first. And the way we do this, we grab the animation component of PaperZD, we drag off and get anim instance. And then from this, I can drag off and look for layer. And we have the apply animation skin to layer and the remove skins from layer. And we want to apply for now. And then I can connect this here. Let's now just start with the knight. So I can select the skin and let's say head knight. And which layer is it? Well, this can be a bit confusing because you know we had the index 0 and 1, but here actually 0 is the base of the character, 1 is the head, and 2 is the body. So I want to put in 1 for the head here. And let's also do the body right away. So I can Control C, Control V to copy this and connect the anim instance to the target and double click for rerouting. And then here let's pick the body knight and make sure it is layer 2. And on a side note, one thing you can do for the layers, you can create an enum like this, which has base, head, body, and even more parts if you want those. Then you can use the layer enum and convert it to an integer, and then use that together with the layer here. But that's a bit advanced, and we're not going to do that in this tutorial. If I start the game now, I can walk around, and with all the directions, we are now wearing the knight armor for the head and also for the body. And this is also very similar to how you would set up skins without layers. For example, in my JRPG course, characters are all just a single sprite sheet, so all I set up for them is a skin asset and then I swap it out like this on BeginPlay. But for our armor here, we want to be able to pick it up or equip it while the game is running, so let's create a function for that. In the BP hero, let me just cut this out, Control X, and then create a new function here. And it's called equip armor. I can Control V, connect this here, and let me get rid of the second one. I just need the one on the left. And I then want to just connect the skin to this input and the layer to this input as well. And I'll just double click to create some reroutes and just line it up. And now we have a function where you can just tell the character which skin to wear on which layer, and we can call this maybe from a menu where we change the equipment, or maybe if we walk over a pickup and pick up a certain type of armor. And in the advanced Patreon project, for example, I created a pickup, and when we touch it, we then equip the armor. And based on which hat we wear, we then have access to different attacks. Now in this example, let's keep it simple, go back to the event graph, and down here, I want to just create some debug inputs. So just right click, debug 1, and we want to have 5 different ones, so debug 2, debug 3, debug 4, and debug 5. Let me just line them up. And now I can just call this equip armor, connect to pressed on the debug 1, and let's select the head knight, make sure it's layer 1, Control C, Control V, connect to pressed, select the body knight, make sure it's layer 2, and then Control C both, Control V to plug them in here. Then here the head mage, and here the body mage. And then lastly, we also want to be able to unequip, so I can get the animation component again, get anim instance, then here look for layer, and remove skins from layer, connect to pressed, And we want to remove from layer 1, and then copy paste, Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V, connect the target, double click, and then also layer 2, which is the body armor. Now back in the game, I can start it, I can press these buttons on the keyboard. 1, I wear this helmet, 3, I wear this helmet, 2, I wear the knight armor, and 4, I wear the mage robes. And I can just keep on pressing these, keep on changing the armor. 5, I can just unequip everything. And yeah, of course this is just a debug right now, but you can then, like I said, connect this to a menu where we change the equipment, or if you pick up an item that we then change the armor and have different stats, maybe access to different abilities, and so on. And I hope this gave you a nice overview of how to use both the skin and layer systems with PaperZD. Again, if you want to know more, you can get the advanced project files on Patreon, or you can also get the JRPG Masterclass, where we also use the skin system later in the course for the NPCs and party members. As always, a huge thanks to my awesome patrons and YouTube channel members.